I'm not alone. Alone's not my home. This is the thing, the thing. I let it sink in, though I'm on the brink. I believe in what I think, but don't wanna think. So many faces, but the whole wide world feels fast asleep, while my little paper cut runs skin deep. So many faces, but the whole wide world feels fast asleep, while my little paper cut runs skin deep. I'm not alone. The lie is a nuisance, plucking at my feelings, taking its chance and having a blast at my expense. Oh, I'm not alone. The lie is a nuisance, plucking at my feelings, taking its chance and having a blast. I'm alone, it's not my home, I'm just home on my own. Hey, yeah. Said I'm not alone. Oh, I'm not alone, no. Oh, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Alone's not my home. Alone's not mine. Alone's not mine. This is the thing. This is the thing. Oh, the thing. I'll let it sink in. Sink in. Though I'm on the brink. I'm on the brink. I believe in what I think, but don't wanna think, no.
Her voice is instantly recognizable on, obviously I'm talking about Zoe Modiga. Her voice is instantly recognizable under the film scoring of Carl Shepard in Oscar-nominated movie Noem My Skollie, and she became a household name as one of the popular contestants in the first season of The Voice SA, reaching the top 8. That's Pietermaritzburg born singer, songwriter and National School of the Arts product, Zoe Modiga. Her voice is absolutely beautiful. In 2015, she won the SAMRO Overseas Scholarship Competition for singing and was on the lineup for the 2017 Cape Town International Jazz Festival. The Jazz and Soul Princess joins us now to tell us more about her eagerly awaited album called Yellow, the novel. Zoe, good morning. Thank you very much for joining me.
Morning. Nice to see you.
Wow, your voice is crazy. It's like absolutely crazy. It's got beautiful melodic tones to it. My producer keeps on screaming in my ear, sultry, sultry. Her voice is sultry.
Oh, no, please tell him he's sultry.
Well, it's not a he, it's a her. Her name is Catherine.
Oh, hi, Catherine.
Talk to me about this, just development of this voice.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think it's a God-given gift, and I take that very seriously, even in the effort that I put in my craft, you know. But I've been lucky enough to have vocal training. I went to the National School of the Arts. That's where I got a lot of classical background in clarinet, piano, and vocals. And then I went to study jazz at UCT.
I always think of when an artist has to find her style, or because you know you could sing anything with a voice like that. You could do R&B, you could do pop, you could do all that stuff. So I always think of when an artist finds her voice, that there must be this kind of what is it? Is it this aha moment? Is it this you know, I'm so happy that I finally found my sound? Because most artists they start performing but they don't have their sound yet.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm a young musician. And I think I've been lucky enough, as I said before, to have a lot of tools to work with and a lot of knowledge, you know. But when it comes to looking for my own personal voice and sound, I think it's a constant process. I mean, I'd like to look for myself until the day I'm no longer alive anymore. Okay. And I think it's just that constant pursuit. But I love the fact that I can express myself and put out a real sound out there.
I want to use your term, you're a young artist, but you've already had your songs featured on a big movie, Noem My Skollie. You've performed with guys like Lyra, we've worked with Marcus Wyatt, Benjamin Jaffe, who shared the stage at least. What does that say to you where you are from a gifted perspective?
I think it's a couple of things. I can't owe it all to my gift and be like, oh, I'm the greatest thing ever. I think there's so many singers in the world. It would be great to be the greatest singer, but I think I've just always been taught that if you have a gift, just seize opportunities and put yourself in spaces that put you where you want to be. And I think I'm testament to that.
Do singers, creatives, vocalists, do they crave competitions? Because you've been in two now. So far, what you've done incredibly well with the other one. What made you go there?
I think I don't really like competitions as much as I like opportunity.
Okay.
So I like what comes from the competition. I mean, from things like winning the SAMRO Overseas Scholarship Competition, I knew I wanted the prize, but I was competing with people that I look up to as well, you know, people that are my fellow colleagues that are amazing in their own right. So I like attaching myself to things when I know what the end result is.
Is it different life lessons from an artist's perspective, doing something as commercial as The Voice as opposed to something that's a little bit more developmental like SAMRO?
I think definitely, I mean, I'm laughing because I'm just, all the memories are flooding back in. Yeah. I think it's definitely a different pool of sea, and a lot really went into the production in itself. But I think The Voice South Africa was a beautiful platform for me. It taught me a lot of things, even in the business, that I maybe overlooked, even as a performer, you know. I got to be exposed to a different crowd that I probably wouldn't have been exposed to. So even if, I mean, you say it's a commercial thing, I think there's a lot of things that I got from that platform. So,
as opposed to SAMRO?
Not necessarily as opposed to, it's just different.
It's just different.
You know, it's just different.
So you're working on the album. It's called Yellow, the novel. That is as far out as it can go. What does that mean, Yellow, the novel?
Actually, the album is out on all digital platforms, and there are hard copies for it as well. But the word yellow is my favorite color. I think it's a beautiful word.
Yellow now.
Exactly. So that's it's what I seek, or what I think happiness looks like. I think it's yellow in color, and I wanted to really portray that with my debut album. And it's called The Novel because the tracks are quite long, but I think it's like a story. It's something that you read and you sit down to listen to. So I wanted the people, the consumers, to really experience like a musical version of what reading a book is.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. In all the time I've interviewed somebody, nobody has described happiness in a color. So for you, it's yellow. It's the color yellow.
Yes.
So when you see yellow, it's your happy space.
Actually, funny story, when I was doing my album launch at the Joburg Theatre, I was like, look, I have to have yellow balloons. I literally asked people to like blow balloons because it makes me, it reminds me of what happiness looks like. So I like to surround myself with that.
That's an interesting question. I need to think about what my happy color is. I've never thought of it that way. Zoe Modiga, she's in studio with us. She will perform a couple of more times for us. Don't go anywhere. The album is out. It's called Yellow. It's called The Novel. Google the details and start following her. She's got a great voice. We're taking a break anyway.
I'm on the brink. I believe in what I think, but don't want to think. So many faces, but the whole wide world feels fast asleep. While my little
Cold weather is good news for farmers rattling the fall armyworm.
Soldiers of misfortune, and it has no natural combat enemy in South Africa yet.
A mother in Deep Sloot is fighting for answers after a baby died at a local creche.
When they handed the baby to me, I said boy boy, but he was unresponsive and his hands were very cold. When I opened his eyes, I knew something was wrong.
Daycare mothers
even changed his nappy and handed the already dead child to the unsuspecting mother.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Media Monitor. I'm your host, Alicia Jali. What has been happening on the digital front?
To win the CAF Championship was a huge thing, and perhaps we ought to have celebrated him even more.
Absolutely.
73% of our schools, regardless whether they're in the township